Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to my new studio on the beautiful coast of Maine. I am coming to you here in mid-fall, though here it's pretty much past colors, past leaves. Everything's done. We're far enough north for that. But today's video was going to just be a video that came later about late fall. But I decided to put it out now for one reason, and it showed up in the mail just before I left for Texas to pick my son up and take him to Connecticut, and we did a road trip together. But I shot the footage you're going to see today just before I did that. This is the Nikon Zf, and I'm filming right now on the Nikon Zf which is the small APS-C version of this camera that came out 2.5 years ago. And I've had it since then. The ZF just came, though, and there are a couple of reasons I picked it up. Excellent video, excellent 24 megapixel sensor, really good high ISO, better than I think any other camera on the market at this point as far as base ISOs. I think it's up in the 60,000s somewhere, which means your lower ISOs are going to be cleaner. The autofocus is spot on. Right now I've got the 24 to 120 on here, which is a great lens. You've seen me review it. I love this lens. I don't own any of the primes that are being built for these cameras yet, since I'm mostly a zoom shooter as a landscape guy. That said, what you see I have on here, this is actually the K&F Concepts filter system. This is a UV filter with an actual magnetic lens cap that goes on it. And then this UV filter doesn't have to come off to use the other filters like NDs or grads or what have you. That's not what this video is about. But I figured someone was going to wonder what this was all about. All right, so this camera. Today I'm going to talk just briefly about it. We're going to do a much more in-depth dive. But we're going to compare it a little bit to this camera, which is the Fujifilm X-T5. Yes, this is 40 megapixels, but we're going to compare things like video quality and, you know, I don't want to go too deep. I'm not a super ultra tech guy. I do like tech, but not on the levels of let's compare the ins and outs of each little piece. But I own both of these, and they're both my video cameras as well as stills cameras. We're going to spend some time talking about why the Nikon ZF is also good for landscape photographers. I know it's only 24 megapixels, but in many cases where there isn't a lot of movement, you can also do a sensor shift, which allows for a 96 megapixel file. I don't know if this is the first Nikon to have it, but it is a handy item to have. This also has 8 stops of IBIS, which is ridiculous. And it also has, you know, the autofocus out of the Z8 and the Z9. So far, I took it on the road trip, didn't make a lot of photos, shot some video. I'll throw some of that footage into this video. And I can't make a definitive video about it. I can tell you it's a fantastic camera and does its job fantastically well. Definitely worth the $2,000 price tag. That's a lot of money, I know, but not a lot of money for what you're getting on this camera. This is not a Z6 II in a different package. This is the next generation of cameras. And what's interesting is Nikon chose to put it in the retro body. I like the retro body. I'm not anti-retro body, and I'm not anti the way Nikon did it. Some folks like Omar Gonzalez, who I absolutely love, he's stuck on this style of retro camera. There are ins and outs to both. Not one is better than the other. They're just different. For me, as a vlogger, when I want to shoot very high quality stuff for my vlog, it does have a flip out screen, which I really like. For general landscape photography, yes, I like this type of screen. These, what do they call these, flippy screens? And I like that it does that, so when you have it down low on a vertical, you can have your screen pointed up at your face. However, that is terrible when you're trying to film yourself. The Nikon ZF I'm filming on right now also has a flip out screen that flips over so I can see what I'm doing, just as this one does. Now, some people would say $2,000 is a lot for a vlogging camera. Depends on the quality you want to shoot with. I'm going to use this also for video production. It does 422 10-bit video internally to the card. It does not do ProRes to the card, but the bitrate, I don't know what the bitrate is, but the bitrate that this camera uses is incredibly high, so the quality of the video is insane. I believe the quality out of this is going to be far superior to what's coming out of this X-T5 for video. That said, today's video is going to be the first half, and I'm sorry for those of you here that are here to see the Nikon ZF. The first half of the video is going to be me going on a shooting my Nikon Z7, and just getting some nice forest photography. And then I break to the next location I go to that day, and it's a waterfall area, and I unveil this camera, and it's I do a few shots, but I'll talk a little bit more about the camera, just like I've just done. For those of you looking for the end answer here that I'm going to give, do I think this camera is good? I think this camera's insanely good. It's a little different to get used to than the ZF. I'm sorry, the Z7 and the Z6, Z7 II and Z6 II, because the button layout is what Nikon is developing for their retro style cameras. So you have a slightly different layout between their, PSAM cameras, which this is also a PSAM camera, but or PASM as people like to call it. I actually kind of like that it has PASM and fully manual controls, but that is off the point. All right, all of that said, I find it to be an amazing camera. I was blathering on about things that aren't really that important yet, and I haven't done a full deep dive into this camera. I will, and stay tuned for those videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's watch the video. Hey, so welcome everyone. Today I am out scouring all of my local woodlands, not all of them, but a number of them, just to see what's happening with fall here. Because I think the colors are finally popping off here at my house, but they are a little muted, a little muddy. So we'll see how that works out. So we're gonna hit this trail, then we're gonna go hit a trail that has some waterfalls, and then we're gonna possibly head down to a lighthouse, and yeah, should be a fun day. Let's go see what we can find. I'm not going to say much about it yet, but I have a surprise for you today. There's a new piece in my kit, and the only hint I'll drop is I'm a Nikon shooter, so I mean, I shoot Fuji too, but my main overall rig is Nikon. So, okay, that's it. You'll find out later, don't worry. Let's see, how are we looking? So I'm really digging on this, these ferns that have gone brown. I love this diagonal tree. And then in the background we have a stripe of yellow. Let's see if we can show you right about there. Stripe of yellow, I think striped maple going across. I think there's a shot here. I'm digging it. So I'm gonna set something up and we'll see what we can pull. I wonder what my surprise is. We're not going to find out right now. Later. So I think sometimes you'll see I carry a much larger tripod, and then sometimes I carry this guy. This guy's stable enough for most things, unless it's super windy. I like the stability of the big one, I really do. But Yeah, it's a little out of whack, but it's nice to get the first shot out of the way, for sure. We're gonna go up into not as sharp territory, f14, and I think we're gonna shoot it at 1/2 of a second, f14 ISO 64, and there you go. All right, off we go. I see a shot over here, so I'm going through this wonderful striped maple nursery. And what makes them striped maple is their trunks have stripes on them. It looks crazy. They're very cool looking. Anyway, let me get over there. I like this tree right here, and I love these ferns and yellow maple in the back. So I'm gonna try to get a shot set up here. So I'm gonna use the viewfinder app, which I have found to be indispensable. See, I can set up a shot and get the framing I want, and it'll tell me what focal length it is, so I can get an idea of where I'm trying to go with my shot. So that's kind of cool. And it says that is 28 millimeters. So I'll take a shot of it. Then we can look at the shot. And there you go. Pretty cool. And now I know that's 28 millimeters if I want to get something close to that. Okay, so how I've ended up setting this shot up is I have this big oak as the anchor point on the right-hand side of the shot. Off in the distance, there's that maple. Over here, you have the dark ferns on the ground, and they sort of echo each other. I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna work. I pulled the camera out, got set up, and I was like, I don't know. But I want to take the shot, and that's okay. I don't think it's a bad thing to do that. So I'm gonna snap the shot, and then I'm gonna move on, get up on the mountain so I can see about those beautiful, those birches up there? I think so. All right, let me take this shot and we will go. Why are you still here? All right, I've made my way up to this stand of birches at the top of the hill. And you can see if I can make something cool happen with it. I really love the repetitive pattern of the trunks, the white trunks, and then that yellow that the birch leaves turn. So I'm gonna see if I can cobble something together as a shot here. The way I set up the shot is, I don't know if you can see it, but all of these birches, they're all little 2-inch trunk birches, and they're beautiful. I've got them set up all going in on that same sort of way, slightly angled this way so that we have a little bit of foreshortening happening. And the yellow is across the top. I think it's going to be a really nice sort of pattern image. Yeah, got to pull the I got to pull a tree out of the way that's just in the shot. I'm not hurting it, just moving it. And there's the shot. Oh, I love birches. They're so pretty. All right, let's walk down the path a little bit, Hey, by the way, I found another Mylar balloon. Can we please stop using these? They really need to be illegal. They really need to be made illegal. Animals eat them. Animals eat the string that's hanging off of them. The balloons themselves clog up the internals of animals, and a multitude of other sins. These things just need to be outlawed. I picked up a huge one. It must have been like a gender reveal balloon or something. Just ridiculous. We need to get these legislated out of existence. Well, here we are. So I've come to a different location now. It is a river that goes through the middle of the forest, which is kind of cool. And I was coming to see what the leaves are doing here. Last week when I was shooting here, I actually got a number of nice shots. I'll show you those right now. So down by the river, it looks like most of the leaf activity has completed, at least on this end. Down there, it looks like there may be some pretty good leaf activity. And there's a lot of leaf debris, so that's always interesting to photograph if I find the right composition. But so far, it's been a great day. Got a couple of shots at the other place. I haven't seen them yet, so we'll see. I think I like one of them quite a lot. And yeah, let's head on down this river and see what we can find. So I had to stop. There are these beautiful little mushrooms down in the root system of the tree coming out. And it looks like they're marching out of a cave. Getting set up for the shot. All right, well, I've set this camera up to shoot these mushrooms like they're coming out of the tree, like they're coming out of a cave. It's kind of cutesy, but beautiful nonetheless. And yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna switch to a longer lens real quick, but you hear that? Listen to that shutter. Yeah, this is my surprise. It's the new Nikon Zf. I just got it. Just got delivered last night. And no, nobody's loaning me this, and nobody's getting me to review it. I bought this for my own use. I'm being filmed by a Nikon Zf C right now, and I've always absolutely loved that little camera. I've had it since the beginning, 2.5 years ago. And this was just announced, and yeah, the settings are a little different than I'm used to, so I'm going to play with learning it. I'm going to shoot this at f13, 14, 1/2 of a second, ISO 100. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty nice. Well, it's a pretty cool camera so far. Oh boy, got up the hill. Thanks. So far it's a pretty cool camera. I've held it for a total of like half an hour tops. It's yeah, it feels good. It's made well. My battery died. Okay, so I said I've held it for a total of a half an hour tops, and so far it's a pretty amazing feeling camera. It's built like a tank. It feels like the old Nikons. It weighs 15 grams more than a Nikon Z6 II. It's 24 megapixels, and it's got all kinds of amazing video capabilities. So the two main reasons I bought it were for the video capabilities, because I'm offering more video now, and I want another high-end camera for shooting video. My X-T5 is one of my video cameras as well, and it does a very good job. Anyway, here's the falls. The first set. I just got down here and then realized my battery, I'd been talking to a camera that was dead. What do I think of the Nikon ZF thus far? I couldn't really tell you. So far, it seems very much like the ZF-C, which is what I'm filming this on. I wanted higher video capabilities than the ZF-C offered, though, and the ZF is now going to be higher capabilities than the X-T5 offers. So it'll be my flagship video camera. It also has the autofocusing ability of the Z8. It has the video ability of the Z8, at least any of it that matters to me. It has, what else? The other reasons I bought it. Oh, the autofocus. So the autofocus one is the best autofocus Nikon's ever made. It is the Z8 autofocus, Z9 autofocus, and that's important, especially for shooting high quality video. Also, it has the best low light capability of pretty much any camera out there at the moment, which is handy. It also has a star view, so when you're framing stuff up at night for doing astrophotography, you can actually see what you're doing. It's got 8 stops of IBIS, which, as far as I know, is the best in the industry now. And 8 stops is ridiculous. Like, you can handhold a second exposure without any problems. This is the kind of IBIS abilities that I recall having in the Olympus stuff, and that's with a sensor that's only, this big, a little itty-bitty sensor. So let's see if we can find a photograph to make. I mean, look at this. There's got to be something here. All right, so I'm right here next to this beautiful waterfall still. Shooting N-Log, testing out the ZF, Nikon ZF, seeing what the footage looks like. It feels just like I'm shooting with my little guy. I call it my little guy. It's sort of like a smaller version of this that I'm shooting on now. Hold on. Are we in manual? Oh, now we got our autofocus. There we go. That might work a lot better. So, it feels like I'm shooting with this guy. It's a little bit heavier, higher quality lenses. So this lens is equivalent on 35mm of 18 to 41, and that one is 14 to 30. So I have that one in 19mm at the moment, which is right around where I shoot on this at least half the time. But we'll see. I like this falls a lot. I think I have enough yellow trees up there as well. Where is it? Can I point? Up there to make a photograph. Interesting. I'm going to shoot it with the ZF. I'm going to shoot it with the ZF and the Z7, and we'll compare. All right. I think I got this. So I'm at 1/2 second f11 polarizer, ISO 64, and here's the shot. Well, I hope that's close to what it was. All right. Well, I've had a chance to test things, only very, very briefly. But I'm going to put together a video and talk about what I think. So far, I like it. I'm familiar with it already because I have the ZFC, which is filming us right now. But I do wish there were some more extensive controls, but I will work around that with the iMenu and the user menu situation. And that should get me around all that. Listen, if this is the end of it and I don't do a whole lot more because I got to go pick my son up in Texas, thank you for watching. I know this has been sort of a convoluted video, and I'm glad I was able to at least get a little bit about the ZF out to you now. And over the next coming weeks, I'm going to talk a little more about it, and we're going to discuss it as a serious tool for landscape photographers, even though it's only 24 megapixels. We have to remember it also shoots sensor shift 96 megapixels, which some people say it's a gimmick. I don't think it's a gimmick. But you can't have a lot of movement. So like these falls, it would likely not come together well. I don't think this is the situation for it. Anyway, thank you for coming out. I really appreciate your time. Please, if you found this at all, this content at all useful, I'd love it if you give it the thumbs up, and please subscribe to me. The thumbs up and the subscribing are what keep the channel alive. YouTube doesn't even know I exist if you don't do something to let them know that. And subscribing helps me get followers, which also helps me get placed, and thumbs up definitely helps me get placed. So please, if nothing else, give me the thumbs up. Thank you for coming out. I hope to see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.